Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another casted series from the Trash Can League. My name is Harrison, and today we are back with the round 4 match between Eaglemut and Aligator. Game number 1 will be played on Punjab, and we see Eaglemut playing as the British civilization spawning to the east of the map in the colour blue, with his opponent, Big Snooper, he's playing as the Russians spawning to the west of the map in the colour red. Now you may be asking, what is that massive colourful bar on the top of our screen? This is the second iteration of the A's Spectator mod. Azank has worked his magic once again to create an interactive and viewable spectator feature for us to view as a... for me to use as a caster and for you to enjoy as viewers. And at the moment, the top bar represents the military population. Obviously, it's blank in age 1. And we have economic population, 5 villas for the Russians, 10 for the Brits. But I'm sure Alligator will soon get his 3 batch of villas, and yeah, that shoots straight up to 8 villas there. And other things to note is the population and the current resource count. So instead of having to continuously flick through to see where both players are out, I can look at that top bar to see if potentially players are aging or not. We have the classic shipments on the bottom, as well as able to click individual units to see any text on them, as well as how many they've had, how many they've lost, how many they've had, how many they've built and lost, I think, are the details in that order. We do see Eaglemut taking down 2 lions here for 100 food treasure, certainly a very big treasure. We did see the 70 food being taken down by Alligator on the west of the map, guarded by 4 macaques. 55 food here by 3 macaques. It's just nice treasures because although... you know, they're not massive treasures. You don't lose much HP. You get lots of experience points. Each macaque is 8 XP as well. So when you have multiple guardians, it racks up. The treasures are quick to take. They're easy to have. And having 2 food treasures as the Russians in age 1, way before clicking up, is just so strong. I feel that Alligator here, playing as the Russian civilization, will be able to go for the 14 villager age up here with not much idle time. We do see the Grove Rickshaw here from Alligator moving mid-map, just scouting. If we look at his scouting point of view, we do see that the Explorer's kind of on the top side looking for the treasures. But the Rickshaw is just kind of scouting in the middle of the map. The Rickshaw has scouted a decent chunk of the river section looking for the yaks, but I feel that Eaglemut may have just a few more than what Snooper has. Big Snooper having 3. Eaglemut actually only having 2, so Alligator winning the yak war there 3-2 is always a nice little advantage in that situation. Eaglemut now aging up with the governor politician. I'll get the outpost wagon, 200 coin. Gets himself 80 wood treasure as well. There's a nice 50 coin treasure nearby, which when Eaglemut's explorer gets his crack shot again, it's certainly worth to take. Alligator is tempted for 65 coin here. It's I think Eaglemut can... oh, he can't even see the treasure or the explorer, so Alligator taking this treasure is a bit risky from his point of view, but he's going to get away with it, it seems. And that extra coin will help his maybe hunting dogs from the market. He's guessing the market now. And a little bit extra coin as well left over will help that first musketeer batch. 2 villagers moving forward to the middle part of the map. Gonna go for that forward blockhouse to secure map control. There's also quite a lot of hunts in the middle of the map this spawn. Looks like the second hunt of nil guys spawning forward from the town centre here from Alligator. But some mid-map hunts as well, more on the Russian players' side of the map, and certainly easily defendable here from the blockhouse in the middle. So nice placement of the aggressive structure there from Alligator to get map control and puts the British player under a bit of stress, to be fair. He has to work for his hunts. He's herding in 1 forward hunt. He does have a nice safe defensive back, nil guy, and there's one towards the north on the riverbed, which he can herd. The one down to the south in the trend line might be a little bit too far for him to herd in, but certainly has got many options. The Explorer here from Russia forcing the outpost to be dropped defensively ahead of the silver mine. Nice placement though, to be honest. It does, it is in between obviously the mango grove, these trees here, and gives some protection to the forward coin mine. So I do like this placement. The hunt is starting to be pushed in here from Eaglemut. He's trying his best to get his hunt close to the town centre. Does have 4 villagers forward though. It's a bit awkward. Ideally you want them back home, but the reason is he just hasn't got the hunt underneath his town centre. he has scouted this back hunt, so I would like to see him trying to push us in. Did they agree on the matchup? Yes, they did. This is game number 1. The map is fixed, but the players come to a gentleman's agreement. And in the last iterations of looking at this matchup between British and Russia, particularly between Herbie and Snooper, Herbie and Alligator, it has gone the Brit favour's way more times than not. So I think it's one of those saying, if it works, if it's not broke, if it works, don't break it, or if it's broke, don't fix it. Something like that. But Eaglemut is very happy to play the Brits in this matchup on this map. Decent amount of hunts option as well. It's not like this is a massive trading line map as well for Alligator to push out and take TP control. And even if he does, it's quite expensive. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Thank you, line. I had a bit of a slow moment there. But yes, so far Eagle's quite happily tucked up, stable and racks down already. He's got a shipment ready to go though. He's kind of delaying it a little bit. I feel if you've got the early stable here as well, the racks, 700 coin is what you're looking to send. He's going to go for the 600 wood here, which is, you know, can be used for population space to kind of make sure you do get his batches out. Probably would have preferred 5 vills instead in this situation if you're going to go for like a carbon eco shipment. But 600 wood also works fine. Eagle's kind of out of food at the moment, so he needs to get his villagers out gathering. He's got 16 in into the town centre. And I think he's just realised, oh my god, there's so many vills back here just chilling. Meanwhile, Alligator, he does in total have 5 musk for Cossack. Not really going super aggressive with the unit production here. Does have hunting dog steel traps, sending in 700 wood behind, opened up with the 5 Cossack. Maybe looking to take some trading lines. Well, the Explorer is down. It's not the biggest lines we talked about. This could be second blockhouse and a stable as well. And if we do see a stable, I'd love to see the stable placed right here, but behind the 2 blockhouses to kind of speed up those reinforcements. Good morning, Houseski, for the next 3 minutes, and maybe good afternoon. Welcome for this bit of a weird time of the streaming this game. Just wanting to get these games casted in before the next patch drops, which I believe is imminently. So time is not on our side, but these games are always too good to miss out on. We will have 2 series for you today with the Eaglemut Alligator, and then we'll have a look at the Snooper Fitzbro series as well, which I want to say they played very late last night European time. So quite a lot of you guys may have missed it, which I think would be a shame if those recorded games go before the patch. I think you can watch it back on Fitzbro's channel as a first person, but there's nothing like watching a casted game from this observer's point of view as well. Okay, 700 coin coming here from Alligator. Is dropping the stable, yeah, somewhat close to the forward blockhouses. It's a bit of a weird placement, to be fair. It's not really defensive next to the town centre or the blockhouses. It's kind of open in the middle, but the shorter rush distance on this map compared to like a longer map like Kamchatka or even Great Plains make sure that actually that decision there doesn't overly matter too much. Eaglemut though, busy trying to raid around with a couple of hussars. Only 2 hussars out. We'll lose another manor house forward. Sending in 5 vills behind this. Currently at 30 vills in total. The thing is, the Russian player here, he doesn't have access to manor houses or villager shipments, but he's already up to his 26 villager population in its own right. So, you know, Alligator here hasn't done too bad of a job. Also got to include the distributors and tech. Hussars going for a nice raid, get the villager building a house, but the Cossacks are here to clean up. Probably a net trade there in favour of Russia. And Musks from Eagle going to try and chase Alligator down, but Alligator, backed up by the 2 big boys blockhouses, will easily push Eagle back towards his own base. 4 Huss popping up northern side here for Eaglemut. Only 4 on the field in total, where there's only 11 Musks, 5 chilling in reinforcements behind. Do have hunting dogs and steel traps available here for Eaglemut. No gang sort, no placer mines for the time being. Now sending in 700 coin. And when you always see 700 coin being sent with about 300 coin stacked up, you are thinking there's a possibility of the age. But I'm sure Eagle's just looking around. He's seen the units here. He knows he's down in population. It'd be a bit of a tough ask for him to age up. It is doable. He does have the water buffaloes to eat as well. He's just going to complete his full batch of great coats. Complete the full batch of musketeers. Get his great coats afterwards. as you should always do every game. This is an important matchup to get your great coats. I'm glad Eaglemut has remembered. And this hunter deer actually spawns on the northern side of the silver mine here. He's actually worked his way down to the river, so it's going to help Eaglemut's in that situation, being close to the town centre. So that's very nice for him. So we see 700 coin after the 5 vil. No musk upgrade so far. There's a couple of hussars here from Eaglemut. Only 4 on the field, and is 15 musks here from Alligator, but Eagle's still only got 14 in comparison. Does have reinforcement match, but will take a while. There's so many more units here for Alligator in the middle of the map. The hussars are trying to run away from the musketeers, and the musks here from Eagle being hung out to dry. The stress focused them down, and I think Eaglemut's plan has just kind of crumbled and fallen apart. The coin is on the floor, but it's not really being gathered up, and that's a bit of a shame when you have a high impact shipment like the 700 coin, not really affecting your army size for the time being, and still looking about 300 coin left to gather up. The yak's not even eaten, and that early batch of musketeers been mapped just wiped from the board. Scores now even, which, you know, if you're even in score in the matchup between Russia and British, you have to favour the Russians from this point of view. And is Eaglemut still thinking of aging? His macro does suggest he wants to go for a big batch. TC's idled a little bit, actually, from his point of view. Nice villager population count now, up to 43, so that's very good. But needs to not lose his musketeers. This is not a trade that Eaglemut wants to go for, especially when he's got a big batch of musk huss in queue behind with more resources to go. And yeah, I think Eaglemut's just trying his best to try and keep the army here interested, because he knows if the army from the Russians plops himself onto this northern hunt of the Nilgai and the deers, is going to be very tough to defend. Cavalry HP about to hit the floor. Another hussar batch and musketeer batch will start. Has Minutemen been called yet? If it's not, he might want to send them now. Vils with their great coats could be used to tank in this situation. It might be crucial that he does. But just the musketeer count here from Eaglemut just dwindling so low that no real anti-cav here, and the Cossacks will just trade so well versus these single-carded hussars, and musketeers behind here from the Russian player is going to do very, very well. Villagers here gets into the fight. Maybe they go into the town centre or try and get onto a hunt to the southern side of the map away from these units, but they just lost all that hussars, and all the chance for Eaglemut to get to the third age is now gone. The Wolf Buffalo is still not yet to be eaten. I would like to see players eat their livestock just a little bit faster to try and get more of a boost to the eco in the second age, because it feels like if Eaglemut just had that extra bit of military, that extra bit of cohesion, could have easily crushed the Russian forces here. Never Touch asking for patch. Yes, there's a patch coming very soon. Date and time unconfirmed, but it is coming. The public preview patch, kind of that beta side channel, has been live for about a couple of weeks with the proposed changes, so you can play that if you wanted to. But so they will be implemented, and I'm sure with a whole extra host of changes as well. And that will be, I believe, this week. They usually do drop patches on the Tuesday around the 18 GMT, but that could always change for unforeseen circumstances. Military population here, 58 for the Russian player, only 21 here for Eaglemut. Eaglemut still training musketeers behind. Has sent Cav HP, no musketeer cards. Already sent the 6 musks to kind of help bolster his mass, which is, you know, a bit of a shame. We've only got 11 left. You haven't got much more to reinforce. 5 hussars trying to go for another rage. We'll come across a couple of Strelets, but they are backed up by musketeers. But the Cossacks are quickly in hot pursuit, and any chance for an Eaglemut to try and raid is quickly fading. And oh no, Eaglemut has led the Russian army onto his hunting operations to the southern side of his town centre. Looks like Eaglemut will have to stand and fight here. He must protect his villagers at all costs. Or if anything, maybe bring a few of these villagers in, which is doing so right now. Villagers moving into tank with their melee resist and high HP. Good idea here from Eaglemut. Cossacks taking the bait, going on for the villagers. Musks firing in from behind. the next batch of units here from Eaglemut will take a long time to get onto the battlefield. 13 musks remaining, only 3 hussars here from Eagle, and there's just so many musks from Alligator. 28 musketeers with 31 strelets. Too much range damage here for the villagers to really tank, and they all have to evacuate to the town centre. The water buffaloes have been eaten. The berries will soon be gathered, but unfortunately I feel like from Eaglemut, his opportunities to come back into this game have dwindled to very, very low. CM is being called, maybe trying to hold with a boosted town centre to one-shot kill the Russian infantry, maybe get a miracle pop with the colonial militia, but with only 12, it does get a little bit reduced compared to the 15 CM used to get in the old patch and the old game. Even Cossacks moving to the top side here. A couple of musks are going to try to dissuade the Cossacks from pushing in any further behind here. And yeah, CM's now in. He's nearly got enough coin, but he hasn't. Oh no, he hasn't got the market. He hasn't got the coin available. He's going to call tier 1 Minutemen here, not CM. But for 6 Minutemen here, it's a very efficient purchase. Would he have enough military to hold on? He does have the boosted town centre, but he's only got 7 vills in here instead of the full 10 villagers to get the 135 range damage. That town centre is not quite strong enough to one-shot any of these units. The Cossacks coming in, musks turning their fire onto the cavalry, but the strelets are creeping forward, and at every volley, more and more musketeers here from Eaglemut do fall over, and I feel the game has been won here from the Russians' point of view. Eaglemut, just quite a few of these villagers can't even get onto the deers to the northern side. They're being pushed to the edge of the map, and the town centre is working, but he's got no military production, can't produce any musketeers or hussars. And meanwhile, look at Alligator's position, 3 vills coming in, up to 43 population, and just production and reinforcements continuously rolling in. And the GG's been called. Alligator taking game 1 versus Eaglemut. Cup of coffee is very nice as well at this time of the day. So if you look at the timeline here from villager population, the initial villager play from Eaglemut was actually relatively low considering what British players can normally achieve, at even around like the kind of the 6 minutes, maybe the 7-minute mark. And the difference between the British players and villager counts to the Russian players is not too different. And I think one of the reasons was that Eaglemut went for the early stable and barracks instead of trying to survive for a while on a single production facility, and then use that 200 wood elsewhere onto 2 manor houses, possibly further increasing that economic potential from the villagers, which he then gets fed back into the military as the game goes on. And also sending 700 wood into 600 wood, the manor house boom didn't really feel to materialize substantially before the 5 vills came in, so it may have a bit more of an instant impact for the 5 villager shipment than the 600 here from Eaglemut's point of view. And then as the game goes on, when Eaglemut realises he's lost most of his military, he's having to sacrifice villager production to focus on military, but just can't quite get the numbers out to combat the Russian army. And I think we'll see some really, not good trades here. So Eaglemut, had the stronger economy at this moment in time. Russian units are obviously weaker, so the population looks much more scary than it actually is. However, having said that though, it was the losing the 24 down to 9 units and then instantaneously getting another batch of units. Just wait for the next batch of units to hit the field to reinforce, and then another not great fight. Afterwards, the fights weren't actually too bad in Eagle's favour, but he was fighting from a very difficult position anyway. So getting good trades was very nice to see, but it wasn't enough to get him back into the game. Right, let's move on to game number 2, I think. I'm just going to click the reset button on my OBS, which should be fine. Recorded games, TCL. Got to keep cracking on with these series. Eaglemut versus Alligator. Game number 2, let's do it. Oh, Eaglemut bringing out the Indian civilization on Pampas Sierras. It is Eaglemut's home map. This is. He's the player A in this matchup, so he's chosen to play as play on the Pampas Sierras map. Alligator won the last game. He has first pick on the map, and he's chosen to play as the British civilization. A good pick here. Decent amount of hunts, no trading posts, so won't get counterpicked by civs like the Ottomans, the Germans, even Lakota to some extent. There's a lot of civs here which don't really want to face British in this map, but one of the civs which do is the Indian civilization, and that is one of Eaglemut's stronger civs, and he's playing that now. So Eaglemut spawned to the north of the map in the colour red, and Alligator spawned into the south of the map in the colour blue. And one of the early advantages of playing as the Indians on this map, you have two explorers which are faster than the British explorers, and it is a race to see who can take the most amount of llamas on the map. And these llamas, as a natural herdable animal, provide more experience points per second than any other herdable, like the sheep or the cow, and of its equivalent Asian counterparts. So the fact that Eaglemut's already up to 4 llamas with the ability to take number 5, number 6 back here, and maybe if this one gets back as well, that'd be very nice. He's the potential to be a 7-to-1 advantage of the llamas, and that is absolutely insane if that is possible. Okay, Alligator's actually got 2, so it'll be a 6-to-2, but even still, that's certainly a big trade in favour of the Indian player, and be very happy to see that, especially as the game progresses. Another thing for this map as well is the treasures. Treasures are alright, not the greatest set, but there's also quite a few llama treasures out on the map. There's a wolf pup over here. Now I'm saying this, there probably won't be any. Okay, there's 2 stray sheep, so there is some livestock treasures on the map down here. 80 coin. Yeah, it's just a 1 livestock treasure as well, but given that it's guarded by 2 wolves, that's an easy pickup there for an Indian civ with 2 explorers. So who knows, maybe later you might see those sheeps come into play. Let's get the AZY on. We do see the British player at 12 villagers, Indian player only at the 10 villas just yet, and looks like both players just popping up the next batch of villagers. 3 villas being sent in here from Alligator. Eaglemut sending in his wood trickle distributism, and looking to see some standard play here. What I've noticed though, Eaglemut does have 14 population queued up. He's still chopping, and he's realised, oh, hang on a minute, I don't need to do this, and maybe he was over chopping here because of the herding possibly wasn't on point. Treasure contention here coming in, or maybe it's just Eaglemut being annoying and wanting to force Alligator to finish his treasure off. And yeah, Alligator is kind of... Alligator, if he wanted to play super smart, he's probably should just run at this moment in time. Well, even though I think the elephants here can single-handedly take down an individual bandit blow gunner. So yeah, he's just committing. Elephant's not doing too much damage. The bandit blow gunner's not doing too much damage. But if he loses the Incan that will be pretty tough here for Alligator, because he will lose his explorer as a result. The treasure, the man has gone to heaven, but he's still here. That's a bit of a graphical one. And who's picked this treasure up? Oh, it's Eagle. He's got it. And the snare onto the explorer. That explorer is not long for this world. Even with a negative multiplier versus explorer, it's certainly too strong. And Alligator's like, yeah, no, I thought I got that one. Where can I find the patch notes? Well, the patch notes is not out just yet. We're casting the games from the previous patch before they do get deleted because of the new patch. But on Steam, I think you can find patch notes from the previous public beta. But I think I will do probably a rundown on the patch notes if they do come out. It's easy content. Everyone loves the content. But I also feel that some people, when they do the patch notes, they don't actually know what they're talking about sometimes. I know it sounds absolutely harsh, but yeah, when you have a lot of experience, you kind of see how these things work together. Agrifort being built mid-map here from Eaglemut with 4 villagers. I think it's because Eaglemut knows this is a late age up with all this extra wood he's chopped in the first age for, more vills, age in a vill late. This poor herding from Eaglemut as well. I know this is a league game. I know where there is undue pressure sometimes to perform at the best level, but these are fundamentals that players should be hitting every game, is successfully herding in hunts to your town centre. And I think what this is it's an example of a player who Okay, it's not Eaglemut specifically, I'm not going to say genuinely. It's a player who's trying to develop his Age 1 scouting, his Age 1 treasures, getting the map, playing his opponent Age 1, but then taking the eye off what's going on in base. Whereas if we look at Aligator, Rares, nice underneath the town centre, a couple Guanacos underneath the town centre as well. Beautiful Age 1 micro here, lots of good efficiency coming in. Nice age up time, 700 wood coming in, and Indian about to hit the age up now. Yeah, aging past 5 minutes. This is a slow age up time, and also, you know, Eaglemut committing 4 villagers to the aggro fort, crossing mid map is a bit of a statement of intent to say, hang on a minute, I'm a little bit down on my usual age up time. The market is up, not yet getting his market tax, but I think with 2 villagers on the coin mines, he'll start to try and work in hunting eagles to the very least, but he might also want to get himself that first batch of units in queue as well, and that's another thing. He's got 11 villagers on wood. He's got 2 villagers in queue already, sending wood trickles. He hasn't got any units in queue for the time being, and in his matchup, I feel that the Indian players, they want to continuously be forcing the Brit players to be making units, where Alligator, he's going to make a couple musks, but he's not under pressure. He's just sending, from his point of view, he's sending 700 wood, 5 vil into 600 wood. He's got manors coming down. He's got 9 manor houses in total, and still more wood left over. This is, for me, it feels like this wood is like, oh, I can make a batch of longbows if I need more units, so I can make some pikes if I see sours, or if I don't see anything, I can just make more manor houses, and that might be the case. What's either of these guys? I'm going to say Alligator's probably 1650 to 1700, and Eaglemut is probably 1600, maybe slightly down on that. They're close enough that the series will be close. I mean, every player... Jerry Muller dropping by with 19 for this off-time cast of some TCL games. You're more than welcome to drop by and enjoy. Currently into Game 2 of Alligator versus Eaglemut, and Eaglemut here not having the greatest Age 1 opening, aging 5 minutes 10 seconds with India, 4 vils mid-map to try and get that up in a decent time. But is that a consulate mid-map here from Eaglemut? I think it is. Eaglemut here possibly going to go for a delayed British consulate timing play. I think that would be a decent option versus the British civ in particular. But with the Gurkha transition as well here from Eaglemut, Ottoman Hussars getting the snare may also be a possibility, as well as to protect the Gurkhas. We'll have to see what consulate tech he will go for. Looking at his deck, he does have his classic 5 Rajputs in the deck. I know that Eaglemut loves to send the Rajputs and the Tiger Claws most games, so we'll see if he's going to go for that again. 5 Sepoys now being sent after foreign login and 300 export, looking to gear up for a timing attack and pushing all his forces in at the same time. Villagers currently working with hunting eagles and blanket filters, I think the tech's called. No professional hunters just yet, which I think he would have liked to see. And still, you know, 7 villagers is a lot of wood gathering villagers when you have foreign login. I think the villager macro could be adjusted to accommodate his techs and his hunt and his market techs coming in behind us. And yes, he has now started to move more villagers away onto the hunt and the coin mine. Never Tilt saying, how will they nerf Hausa? I think there's loads of little nerfs coming in, which overall should make a general big nerf. What I think quite a lot of players are already concerned about from the public preview patch notes, which, you know, they may change, is that the House of Tower Rush is not significantly nerfed, but I'm unsure. I think one of the biggest nerfs, which wasn't wrote on the patch notes, but I think has been confirmed, is that the Hausa builder on the 300 coin age up and the wagon age up can't build the watchtower, which is going to certainly slow down their time push. But most of the African units are going to get a tweak anyway, so certainly good changes there. And it would be good to welcome the African civs to the ladder then, and actually have decently balanced options. Anyway, here lots of musketeers here from Alligator, pushing in 27 musketeers, a couple of sepoys protecting the hussars, but unfortunately here from Eaglemut, I don't see much of the consulates being used at the moment. I think he went for the villagers from the Ottoman consulate, but sending in Ottoman villagers and then pushing in behind with no military reinforcements from the consulate, it doesn't really help his position. Most of the Hussars have gone down. He does have Gurkhas, so Alligator will have to retreat here. He can't continuously push into this. Train another batch of Hussars to remass his position. So Eaglemut has bought time. 38 villagers here from Alligator. 34 from India with double wood trickle. So Indian Eco now starting to outscale the Brit player ever so slightly. But I'm sure Alligator here can make more manor houses as the game goes on to catch back up. Cavalry HP now being sent in behind here for Alligator, wanting to attack the cav. I think Alligator, from this point of view, he's realised that the tanking the Gurkha shots with high HP cavalry. He knows it's Ottoman consulate. Does he know it's Ottoman consulate? No, he doesn't know it's Ottoman consulate. I think he can assume it's an Ottoman consulate because he hasn't seen any British redcoat musketeers, or if he's checked the Gurkha sepoy, he doesn't see the plus 12 HP here, the plus maybe 10. It's yeah, plus 8 or 7. It's a low HP number, but essentially he doesn't see any upgrades on the unit, so he knows that if his consulate, it's going to be the Ottomans, which means Eco and Hussars. So making your own Hussars here is a natural way to kind of like deal with both of them. And look at this. 5 Hussar raid. He's going north to the side. Has he scouted any hunts? No, he's going in blind, but he actually might get a really nice raid. Push coming in from Eagle may actually pull back, force the Hussars to retreat, but Alligator with the 5 Hussars, he's going to try his luck. He sees one hunt. Will there be villagers there? Oh, yes, there is. Jackpot time, baby. Villagers with no great coats out on the map, and that should be probably 3 vills going down there. I know there's a lot of split attacks coming on here. Alligator maybe trying to push forward with Zen moves. Meanwhile, Eaglemut pushed into the base. There's the 3rd vill. Maybe the 4th vill go down back into the base. Gurkha's just trying to keep their distance. And yeah, that's a great pick up there from Alligator. 4 vills, and he's going to hot retreat out of the Indian player's base with all those Hussars intact. Eaglemut hasn't got the stable down at the moment, can't produce any Zambraks to defend from this Hussar raids. All his infantry here are slow moving. He's gone for Tiger Claws versus pure Musketeer mass here from Brit player. This is not what you want to see. Tiger Claws are great versus civs like the Germans, the Dutch, civs which don't have access to Musketeers. But yeah, Eaglemut is thinking, well, I can't engage my cavalry units onto the Musketeers, so I'm going to go for the raid behind, which is going to get some vills, but he's trading his entire army behind this. And Alligator will be absolutely happy with his position. His villagers as well idled 25 in the town centre just by 3 Hussars. Alligator just winning this on all fronts and into Eagle's base, defending. 36 villagers though to Snoopers now. Alligator's 37 vills, so India Eco is ahead, but he needs to get out on the map and start hunting. These villagers over here will be idled, and the Hussars just sitting on the only hunt. This rare never was herded in, and I think that should have been herded in from age 1. As we go back to the lack of herding from the first age, really hurting Eaglemut in this game again. What are the Rajputs for? Rajputs have been buffed quite significantly over the years through the fan patches now into Definitive Edition. They are, as a unit, they are strong units, and the value you get from the 5 Rajput shipment is very strong. It's like maybe an 800 resource shipment. It's a very strong shipment in that sense, but how it functions versus Musketeer Hussars, or mainly Musketeers, is not very well. It's fast-moving, strong Rotileros, you could say, in that sense, and versus this kind of H2 army, it's just not quite what you need behind here, where you'd rather have, let's say, mass sepoys. Yeah, mass sepoys, Brit Consulate. But, yeah, these units here, the Rajputs will come out, but they won't be able to achieve too much. And Alligators has basically got the decisive mass advantage over Eaglemut, and just pushing the middle aggro. Eaglemut on the retreat, and having to basically lose mid-map contention. The Consulate's at risk, the barracks is going down, the aggro fort will go down afterwards, and if the aggro goes down, that's a lot of experience points for the Brit player to use to send even more shipments behind. Still has the Musketeer HP cards to send behind, and then 6 Musks as well, which will certainly help his position, achieving a large army in the second age, and to, well, yeah, secure the fill from Alligators. That would be the shipments he needs to secure the game. He's got a nice lead at the moment. Military population 53 for the British player, only 8 here for the Indian player. Rajputs come out, Sepoys come back in. Minutemen from the Ottoman Consulate is a very nice time, but they've actually run forwards through the army instead of standing fight, so he's lost a volley there. Rajput's there, 18 hand attack. Yeah, strong units, but having no multipliers versus musketeers makes them a bit awkward. Sepoys having to retreat. Rajput's been trained as well. Expensive units, yeah, 135 resources. Spearmen here. We'll cut through a couple of hussars actually, so they will take some trades, but nothing still to deal with the musketeer mass, which is a real problem here for Eaglemut. And that aggro fort is about to go down. 48 villagers now from Alligator with more manor houses. 41 here for Eagle. Everybody's on wood, getting the barracks down, getting a second barracks down. But the hussars are coming into the town to try and idle the villagers, and there's no units out. First bullet only just completed. I think Alligator has, Eaglemut has realised his time on this map has come to an end. He's going to resign. And the second game there, going to Alligator. If we look at the timeline, it all really fell apart in Age 1 for the Indian player. Although he got great scouting, great treasures, great llama control, got the sheeps as well, just left kind of the Age 1 macro just drift away a little bit, aging up at a time of 5 minutes and about 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. And also, you know, if we look at the wood chopped before distribution comes in, he's gone from the 400 wood crates all the way up to about 900 food plus. So I think 900 wood plus. I think he's got about an extra 100 wood there, maybe 80 tops or yes, 70 wood tops of over chopped there, which hurts the food. And if we look at the idle villagers, this graph does show villagers moving from one resource to another. From Alligator, as soon as a villager is produced from the town centre, it goes onto the hunt and stays there. Villager coming out from the manor house goes onto the hunt, stays there. But Eaglemut, once he realises starting hunts run out, it's like, oh my god, hang on a minute, I need to move them all across. And all these times of moving 10 villagers, just delaying that age up by probably easy 5 seconds a piece, maybe a little bit longer, and forcing the 4 villagers to move across the map to build the wonder. Well, it's a play all 3 series, so we'll move on to the third game, and obviously it's a league format. So you know, if Eaglemut loses this series 3-0, it's okay. He can come back and bounce back for the next series. It's really hard to call this like league of who's going to be what level players are at, where they're going to finish. Early predictions were like, is Max going to finish on top? I think Max is a great player, but Alligator, I always used to have troubles versus him. I haven't really seen Eagle play much, but he used to be a very strong captain, you know, maybe low major back in the ESOC patch days and the old base game. A lot of unknowns, and this is probably the first time we get to see players at this level really go at it in a league format across a prolonged period of time. And yeah, the third game here is going to be played on Himalayas, the home map of Alligator, and once again Alligator, winning the second game, has chosen to play as the Aztecs as his first pick on this map, with Eaglemut going to counter pick here with the Dutch civilization. Now this is going to be this is balanced matchup. I feel at this level it is balanced. If you're a good Dutch defender, then yes, it will move very quickly to Dutch favoured matchup. But this is also a mid-map trading line. So if Alligator takes forward control of war huts, could then send a wood shipment after to try and move on to the trading line. Could go for like a delayed push, not to go super offensive early on to try and make that happen. That could also work very well in his favour. But Eaglemut has got to be on his game today with his defensive play, because I feel that's what the Aztec player wants, and he does have CM in his deck, which is good to see. Double unit shipments, no 700 coin, which is absolutely fine in this deck. Has advanced arsenal, has a fort in the third age as well, so that's actually a really nice shipment to have in this very specific matchup. Only having the 8 skirms, no 8 halbs, no 7 skirmishers. 7 Ritas making an appearance here as well. It's a card you don't often see. It's a very poor value card, but functionally how it plays it actually maybe very well, considering it may be a possibility that the Dutch player will be in the Fortress Age, spamming Dragoon units versus H2 units from Aztec. So let's look in to see how this game progresses. Howski, only 3 games. Oh my god, I'm spoiling the results. Newsflash, it's every series. Everybody plays everybody in a play all 3 series. So everybody across the 9-man series will play 24 games competitively. It's a lot of action, but yeah, this game could be Gator winning this, take the 3-0 series win, or could lose this, and Eaglemut picks up a valuable point for himself, and Alligator is thinking, damn, I've dropped a point, and his chances of moving up the ladder table will be a little bit more restricted. Not quite certain why there's 3 villagers here from Eaglemut mid-map on a deer, but, you know, I guess anything goes these days. We'll get the 15ville age up here, so we'll age 15ville standard. We'll need to move most of these villagers across onto the tree lines to get the wood required to drop that bank down. But is this an early sign of wanting to go mid-map with buildings, or is it just because he wants to try and maximise hunting away from his town centre to prolong the hunting life in his base, which could be a big brain play. Whatever happens though, he's in transition. He needs to herd this in, this ibex hunt as a priority. And maybe Eaglemut, who is a main Asian civ player, with India, you know, India don't go through, they go through hunts quite slowly. Japan, well, they don't even need hunts; they just gather berries. I feel this is a bit of a pattern play here from Eaglemut of herding, so hopefully he gets on it. One masterless samurai here from Alligator across the map will scout a hunt near this trading post site, which I think that's crucial information there for Alligator. He knows a possibility of where Eaglemut may want to push out to gather resources in late colonial, unless Alligator's just going to sit right on top of his town centre. One Eagle Scouts on the trading post is keeping that covered. Villager down here on mine, maybe trying to herd this in. Is this early indication of Alligator here wanting to take early trading post control? He does have his deck called the trading post. He's actually sending in advanced trading posts as the Aztecs as well. That's interesting. You don't often see advanced trading posts. I know for the Aztecs they do have a 3 trading post travois shipment in the second age, but he does have enough resources now to actually throw down the trading posts and secure it. So it's nice to see the villager building secure. I don't imagine Dutch here will ever want to try and get onto the trading line here. Age up here from Eaglemut's come in. He does have the villager in queue. He does have his 700 wood being sent. He is gathering up the wood. He still has 6 villagers on the coin though. That's way too much. You've already got your coin for your next 2 villagers there, and the bank will progress. And you do have the food available for that second bank, so priority on getting the wood, but it's just slowing that third bank down even that slightly more. So little things. Eagle Scout does see his 3 villagers forward. Eagle trying to herd us back, and actually good option here herding these deers back, but that could have been done earlier. And the thing is, this villager coming up to herd now, is it late? I think he's going to get away because of this, because of Alligator going for this trading post play. The war hut is delayed. He's actually aging up with the war hut travois. So is this just the one war hut age up politician? I think it used to be 2, but it might be 1 war hut and buffed stats. Yes, 10% HP. So yeah, a decent option here for Alligator to get a building produced quickly. Wagons build very, very fast. The other thing I'd say is that this house is very far forward. That's easy pickings for Puma Spearmen. The banks are... It's far. I don't think it's completely out of range, but it is far. Spearmen over here might not actually be in range of the town centre. It's going to be very, very close, but I don't know why you want to build these banks so far, especially on the forward side. Like, even just building the bank here and here to get a nice, real tight concave is probably what you want. Because if you're making skirmishes, you want nicely protected. And this is just wide open. Like Arsenal's defence for most of last season and the start of this season. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Villagers exposing forward. This has got concern written all over it. Alligator is opening up with pumas into Maysaltons, but if this was an early batch of 5 coyotes, you never know. This could be 2 Vil dead on the hunt forwards. Idle Vils. This Ibex hunt's still not underneath the town centre, and you never know. Just a rogue villager shot after this Ibex hunt gets completed may push this hunt all the way back to where it started. So, real care attention. Got to be given in this situation. But Eaglemut, with the bank sent as the next card afterwards, sending in 600 wood, getting away with a pretty standard build order for Dutch, not feeling too pressured. And Alligator, that trading line's still not in. It's 6 minutes 40. It takes a minute to research. I'd have liked to have seen this being researched a long time ago. So yes, you are getting lots of experience points from the trading line, but you're missing out on that wood income from the stagecoach line, which I think is what you really need. And only one production facility. Obviously, at the moment, not having enough eco to make from 2, but pushing in with 9 Puma Spearmen, 9 Maces, it's not going to work in your favour. The 10 Skirm defence here from Eaglemut should be enough. Villager's in a nice position, market coming down, and Skirm's going to move forward to intercept. And a couple of villas in the town centre, which also have as well. Skirm's getting close though, 20 range. Need to utilise the range and punish the 16 range slingers, but they're moving forward to try and protect their bank. And house, that house still alive, nearly went down, but still alive. A Masterless Samurai here, tanking a lot of damage here, not classed as heavy infantry, so will survive a lot of skirmisher shots. 15 skirmishers now on the field from Eaglemut, with more skirmishers being produced. He's currently a house, villager back in queue. To go for 20 skirmishers here, it feels a lot. Obviously, he does have access for Colonial Militia or 8 pikes to kind of act as his anti-cavalry, having obviously 20 skirmishers versus a civ, which do like to make quite a lot of coyote runners, and coyote runners are very strong in this matchup. This is a weird matchup where I don't think you want to make Puma Spearmen too much, due to the threat of the Colonial Militia town centre and the skirmishers. Mace Holton Coyotes is your primary unit competition here, I would argue. And 20 skirms here from Dutch is risky. I think it's very risky. He's going for another batch of skirmishers, up to 25 skirmishers. He's sending in 15% infantry attack, but if you manage to hit the age up button, he'll get an automatic 20% attack and 20% HP, and get to train Rita and Halberdiers to act as anti-cavalry. The walls here is actually quite nice. He does need to wall, ideally across here to kind of make this a bit more tough. He's walled the top side, very nice. He's walling this, that's very nice. Yeah, actually now the wall's making sense. I think the coyotes can still squeeze their way through here, but having the walls as well will provide that extra protection. Oh yes, that's a good idea actually. I will turn off the TCL funding, but don't not fund me. Go fund me. Any donations will go to the players for this league. I am paying players up to the position of 4th. I think you could be nice and say everybody gets a bit of a share of the action, but a little bit of healthy competition here is nice. Obviously, the primary objective here is to have good games and enjoyable games and players to enjoy the league. Okay, here's the villagers forward from the base. Here come the coyotes, and this is what we've talked about and worried for so long. Here come the coyote runners. Maces will do a decent job from range. Skirmishers, there's enough skirmishers here to move to defend. Alligators, it's just the build order. It feels like there's not a lot of stuff, and even then, he's got this. It feels good that he's got the trading line. He's now got the experience to send all his shipments behind. He's probably sent 5 vills, looking to send 4 vills later on. He's got the 3 warrior priests. They're all kind of chilling and chatting. This one's talking about what he had for dinner last night. These guys are a little bit tired. And poof, out comes another warrior priest, it looks like. This is the triple experience tech here from the Aztec player, which is, a cheap tech. It certainly serves its purpose. It's very good value. But Eaglemut being allowed to get to the 3rd age by only training purely skirmishers, not sending CM or pikes, you have to argue that Eaglemut is in a significantly stronger position for the time being. I know that Aztec scaling at this moment may prove to be, will come back in as the game goes on. But Eaglemut has got a good opportunity here to kind of push on from this game. He's sending infantry combat here. 1k wood is possible. He's got a lot of those chopping tree lines for some reason. Market buy prices Dutch is very strong option way to get your wood as the Dutch due to the stronger base gathering of 0.72, as well as banks also generating gold, which, you know, if you buy at the market, they pseudo auto-generate wood, you can say, so it's pretty good. And yes, he's got so many resources to train so many more units, but he just doesn't have the production to train it, or the housing space, so he's just holding back. Who knows, maybe he wants to go into industrial age and to guard skirmishers. But here comes the first batch of 5 halberdiers. So all this is good. I'm not seeing the plan to push out for the next resources. You know, making a 3rd layer of wall is nice, but you're just starving yourself out. And at some point you need to break out. Infantry combat is very, very nice. The coyotes will need to be significantly buffed to, you know, go over and stomp the halberdiers. I think the halberdier play is a very smart idea. On Thompson Slingers do a lot of damage to halberdiers, but that is it. And these guys can get focused down. Halbs have a high base HP as well, so, you know, buffing their infantry combat with their attack HP as well is certainly very, very nice. And any unit the halberdier touches will melt. Slingers will go down to 2 hits. Coyotes will go down to 36 times 1.5. That's going to be about 18, around about 52, 54. They'll go down to 4 hits. The Puma Spearmen, they'll go down to probably about 4 hits as well, essentially, or maybe 5. But halberdiers do a lot of damage, as well as the possibility for them to go into cover mode as well, to tank more from the slingers, to protect the skirm line. It is nice potential. Just looking for more barracks and more, maybe another bank. A church can help for the shipment progression as well. But Eaglemut herding in that forward hunt with Aligator92 was on that trading line. He, from his point of view, he can see this herd moving in. He thinks it's out of the base. He's not panicking just yet, but Eaglemut with the big brain here to forward wall. And I gotta say, this is a very impressive play here from Eaglemut. I wouldn't do this myself. That back hunt is going to be so brutal, and that's unfortunate. Let's just have a moment's rest in peace there for Eaglemut, because that was not his fault. That's just the game being, yeah, hey, you just back hunted your hunt. But the walls is just forcing Alligator to go, oh my god, I need to age up to the 3rd age. I think Alligator's plan is to do that, is to go to the 3rd age. He knows he can't take this on, so he might need to quickly transition all his training posts onto the coin, get more villagers naturally mining the coin to get that age up in. He does have place of mines researched. On this map, we have the Bhakti Temple, which, get out of that. Bhakti Temple does, nope, wrong button again. Oh, so that's what I'm looking for. Does have the vegetarianism upgrade, which will boost his gathering on the in-base berries by 40%. Actually, if you have the Bhakti Temple on its own, it's still worth a good tech to get it for that reason. But Yoga here, 5% on all units, just for 200 food, 200 gold is certainly a good upgrade there. And even then, just a 5% upgrade for Dutch skirmishers just will make more of these volleys even more damaging. And that's where, you know, the skirmishers really shine, as their attack strength. The other temple here is the Udasi Temple. Udasi is not used often. Seek Guru's hero HP 50%. Aztec, that could be a huge one there if they want to go for their kind of smoke and mirrors OP Explorer strategy. A Chakram bonus here, which Chakrams don't often use. And Punjabi New Year, which does provide 10% gather rates for basically all of your mills, estates, pens. Yes, so it's like the artificial equivalent of eco theory. So it's a strong tech as the game goes on. No need to see it just yet. No mills, no plantations. Eaglemut artillery foundry. Not. It's not that I don't It's okay, because you do need artillery to break the forward buildings, and that is certainly nice. And you know that your opponent has aged up to the 3rd age, and likely they would have aged up with the chief. I don't think Eaglemut would have known he aged up with the chief to the 2nd age, so he actually has to build his noble huts with villagers. But you know the noble huts will be made, and you do need siege. So now, actually contemplating it, I do actually like the artillery, but you do need to maximise halberdiers here. There's a significant lack of what happens if my opponent makes a 31 elite coyote runners with coyote combat. Run. You've only got is it 8, 10 halberdiers max. He's making wars. he knows he needs to get behind the walls here to play this, and I think he's just about to survive from there. But the showing the Falconets this early is also a bit of a problem. So Alligator may be forced to make into Arrow Knights instead of Eagle Knights, which I think he would prefer, but he's still massing Coyotes, and there's no real anti-Coyote answer here from Eaglemut. He's got another Halberdier in queue. Look at the resources he's floating because he hasn't got production. It's important to get 3 production facilities, really, as the Dutch at this moment in game. So 2 barracks, 1 stable, or I guess you can count the artillery production as a building as a production specific site. He's got to train a fort, but I'm just worried because you can't move a fort. You might want to try and take the fort to this position so it secures this mine, maybe here. But I think I would prefer to have seen Swiss pikes. You could argue Swiss pikes, but looking at the food count, Eaglemut's going to try and age up. And if you're going to age up, please drop a church. Drop a church, age up with 1,000 coin. Maybe the 5 500 coin works quite well. So you can research mercantilism to research the to get the experience points to send in the factories very quickly. He's going to plonk this right here next to his banks, it feels like, which is it's defensive. It will secure his age up. He's going to put it a little bit far forward, protecting the trees and the hunt. Yeah, I mean it's nice that it's forward and it's going to secure his age up. He's going to age up now with the Tycoon. So 1,000 coin instead of the 5 500 coin, which I think is going to be a stronger option for Eagle. But his coin mining base is nearly out. He's still only on 4 banks. He's probably forgotten about the 5th bank already. I hope he does get the 5th bank at some point. Trying to make final use of these final zeros. Might need to delete this single wall segment to get access to. I think he's going to do so when he realizes he can't actually access it if he's actually looking. This villager's going onto the wood line. But yeah, soon he would have to go onto the berries naturally. Arrow Knight's actually working on the gate, and this is a huge problem because Arrow Knights outrange a fort. Although it would take a long time for them to siege down the fort, as forts have a high amount of HP, it actually takes it kind of forces the agenda back onto the Dutch plateau, then push out. And this mass of coyotes is just growing scary. Alligator up to 42 coyotes, 41 slingers, 9 arrows. He's stopped production of Puma Spearmen, hasn't even upgraded them, doesn't really want to focus, but the 3 town centres taking map control here. You can't be angry with this as if you're Dutch. You know, if you concede all map control, you cannot be angry when your opponent makes 3 town centre. Fertility boom as well. He does have 10 warrior priests. Yeah, 10 warrior priests in the fertility boom. That's insane. So all villagers out on the map on food for the time, but even his coin mines will probably go into the barriers afterwards. And this is a real smart play from Aztec. Yes, Eaglemut has aged up, but I don't think you need to panic at this moment in time. You have map control. You have the hunt. You know you got the hunt. And yeah, see how the game develops from here. Yo guys, any news from Age of Empires 4? No real change to what we know. Obviously it's going to be released when it gets released. I don't think there's any update. I don't think there will be a beta before the release. It's getting too close now to have a secondary beta. There might... Yeah, I mean, there's no real news, which is good. Sometimes no news is good news in the sense that everything's going to be alright. I have played the game, I have played the beta. It's a good game. It's not a great game. It's a very good game at the moment, but with changes from the beta, it will become a great game. Patches out today? I think so. You know, most patches are dropped on the Tuesday, and I have had an indication that the patch will be out very, very soon. It has been long enough, and I assumed the patches would drop. No, Breeze, it's always on the Tuesday. Definitely Tuesday. It's always when I'm at music at work. It always drops. Usually these guys have a tendency to drop the patch on the first week of the month. So I was letting my players know that last week I was expecting the patch to drop, but it never came. So if it doesn't happen last week, it's more likely to happen this week. And if it doesn't happen this week, it will definitely happen next week. But I think it's going to be this week. I think it's going to be today on the Tuesday. If it's not, Thursdays is an option. But I think most players are kind of expecting. And if it's... Okay, if it doesn't drop today, that's not a problem. But I think we need to get told that when to expect it. Because it's starting to take a while. But sometimes you can't rush masterpieces. And that is okay. Alligators now at 200 population. Here comes Great Hunter, or Great Feast, I think it's called. Great Feast, yes. And that will boost the food of all his villagers on the berries, on the hunts, on the farms. A huge tech. Getting the Udasi Temple here for the Punjabi Sikh Gurus. Does have the Punjabi New Year potentially as well. Sikh Gurus obviously boosting the Aztec Explorers HP. He's aging up as well. I think he's going to age up with the Warrior. That's going to boost the Aztec Explorer HP in combat as well. So, real fair play for Alligator getting that bit of game knowledge down. Halberd is here pushing out across. The Coyotes are going to go straight into the Skirms. Skirms need to pull back. Halberd is making good contact here with the Coyote line and Puma Spearman, but a couple of Coyotes wrap around to the northern side. And so now with the War Dance coming from the 10 Warrior Priests, maybe a few more dances as well. 21% increase in attack is certainly strong. The fort behind providing decent fire onto the Arrow Knights behind. Falconets having to come behind. Falconets have gone down here from the Arrow Knights as well. Obviously, Arrow Knights function as culverins. 150 XP per kill on the Falconets as well. All the XP killed. And, you know, Alligator breaking #1 rule. You never push while attacking, but he's done so. He's actually winning this engagement. Certainly getting a decent trade. He's reduced the number of guard units there are. He's killed the Falconets, but he's going to back off now. And yes, he's retreating. Because he needs more Arrow Knights to successfully break this fortification, but he knows with the 4th age comes new technologies and new ways for him to push to take down the Dutch fortifications. Alligator's point, Eaglemut's point of view, a second factory is coming from behind. He's actually got the heavy cannons on production at the factory, which, you know, I think is a decent option here. It's a decent option. The only problem is you've got to be careful that the... okay, I got it wrong. Looks like it's the Champion Skull Knight age up instead of the Aztec War Chief buff. But does Alligator have the War Chief buff in his deck? No, he does not. Doesn't have Smoke and Mirrors, which, you know, is not the greatest. But he does have, obviously, 900 Infinite Coin in place as well to make up. You know, the deck here is certainly a good deck, to say the least. Got the Great Temple of... Hey, I'm not even going to pronounce it, but 11 Skull Knights with extra splash damage. Certainly a very, very big card there. The fact that Alligator has gone for the 24 on Taunton Slingers over the 20 Infinite on Taunton Slingers, I think is a mistake here from Alligator. Alligator, you know, you are playing a civilization which has a great XP income and is always having more shipments to send. Champion on Taunton Slingers, 20 of them, is such a strong unit. I know you can send 900 Infinite Coin. I think that's where you've got the idea of the Infinite Coin shipment here, but I think the Slingers works really well as well. Bhakti Temple coming down, and Alligator's in the 4th age. He sees triple layer, double layer, triple layer, fort as well. Two options. Do you break it? Or do you call Eaglemut out as a noob lamer, war lamer, spam the chats, diss him, and then call Trade Monopoly? And I think we might see a Trade Monopoly play here from Alligator, especially on the secondary temple here. Bhakti Temple, researching next upgrade for the food from the farms. Most of the farms are now being built. He's got 2 farms in total. Still a lot of coin on the map to be gathered, so he's not down on resources here. Huge defense has been established around the middle of the map, but actually if he can push forward to defend his forward trading post, he doesn't actually need the forward trading post. He just needs to defend the 3 of the remaining trading posts on the map. So it could be the double natives and this native, or it could or a trading post, or it could be this trading post, and this native. It is possible, and this is going to be a good map for him to go for Trade Monopoly if he so chooses. I think Alligator looking at the score, I think, because he thinks he's ahead, I think he can brute force it, but it's going to be a couple of times where he's going to smash his head against the wall of these expansion wars and think, yeah, no, this is not going to happen, actually. Lots of Arrow Knights here to reinforce. Oh, Fort HP is coming from Eaglemut. Eaglemut's actually sent... No, he's not sent... He's not sent to extend his fortification. He's actually manually teched the 4 HP and 4 attack himself. He realizes how critical this building is for him to defend his own building, and that's where extensive fortifications is such a strong valued card. I think that could have helped Eagle, because he could get a few fortified outposts as well. Skirms trying their best to fight, but Aztec has got so much more army behind this. And yes, the army is being crushed. The heavy cannon taking some decent changes, but still enough Arrow Knights here on the field from the Aztec player. 8 Arrow Knights working on the heavy cannons. Not yet upgraded to the champion status. I'm sure he will upgrade to champion at some point in the future. More arrows being produced, more mace halters being produced. And yeah, more heavy cannons. The fort's still doing lots of damage here, I think. Alligator's just losing a bit too much here for my liking. He's backing off. Yes, he's going to back away. Especially now that he's up in civs. Can't get the swashbuckler attack off there to pick off those heavy cannons just yet. Another batch of heavy cannon has been produced from the factories. Yes, the H1 50% HP, but I think it only upgrades the base HP, so that will go from 500 plus at 1500 to 500 plus 1750, so an extra 250. What the Aztec Chief is really missing is the smoke and mirrors for the speed, because once you revive the Aztec Explorer, which I think he should be reviving it at the moment to get the Aztec Explorer back out, can run in fast, snipe off the heavy cannons with his swashbuckler attack, and then get revived again and continuously rinse and repeat. Yeah, heavy cannons will do well in this matchup. I think it's the lack of hunts has really stunted Eaglemut's growth. He does have 5 banks. Send in Swiss pikes instead of advanced church for another 2 banks. He doesn't have the bank cards in age 1 to increase his villager count. He's not training villas. He's not even up to his 50 villager count. I think one thing Eaglemut I've noticed over the tournament series is sometimes he does let his TC go idle occasionally, whereas Alligator, he's been quite good at his talented production. He's not over producing villagers. He's at 77. Could go all the way up to 99, but he knows he needs the population space to make all his units here. And yeah, so he's kind of balancing eco here with unit production, and he's got so many resources floated. But finally, trade monopoly has been called. The correct decision versus a heavily turtling opponent. And you know, some people say it's not in the spirit of the game. I think it's very in the spirit of the game, especially when it's double layer bastion wars you have to deal with. Champion courage is going possibly a little bit far forward. Champion arrows moving back out. Night combat has been sent. These guys are pretty decent, and Swiss pikes ripping through coyotes. They do have a 3.5 multiplier, and coyotes just falling over. I don't think Alligator will mind too much. It's not like he's short on resources, and maybe he wanted to free the population space for another unit type, but it's going to replace those coyotes very quickly. So yeah, look be a very impressive catch there from Eagle, but the scores will suggest that Alligator's doing mightily fine at the moment. Anyway, this is the moment in time where I think Eagle needs to think about making some mortars to try and deal with this training post, Eventually, you'll have to try and knock down this training post as well within the next 3 or 4 minutes. I think it's going to be a little bit too much here for Eaglemut to do. Does have 2 heavy cannons though, so the heavy cannon production is constantly producing strong artillery. Does have a lot of coin behind us to make additional pieces of artillery as well, which he may consider. It's essentially just trying to make mass skirms to deal with the Arrow Knights and let the artillery deal with everything else. But still needs more halberdiers. He's only on 2 barracks at the moment, I think, with this eco, the 2 factories, also heavy cannons. But this could be a 4 barrack situation. Yeah, there's the 3rd barracks now in production here from Eaglemut. Oh, it's from the fort. Yeah, he's using the fort to train as well. Don't forget your fort does act as another unit. And actually, the fort trains units at the same speed as the barracks. I always used to think they trained them super slowly, but that must have got changed at some point. Or maybe I just never remembered correctly. And yeah. The thing is now Eaglemut is actually outside the base having to deal with this. And here comes the champion coyotes. And even if they just touch them, a couple kills here and there, diverting the attack from the skirms onto the coyote lines, the mace sultan's behind getting free reign on the skirmishers. So it's still a good exchange. And the Arrow Knights here from Alligator starting to amass again. Only 7. Population here from Alligator's really low. He needs to get on this quickly and start remassing units because he can't lose momentum. Another 2.5 minutes to go. He'd lost his training post. That's okay. That was always part of the plan to lose that training post, but yeah, taking this trade at the moment is not the trade he wants. He needs to back out and remass his Entente Slingers, his Arrow Knights in particular, as well. Eaglemut now having 4 heavy cannons. The 5th heavy cannon nearly about to hit the field. Eaglemut, Alligator really needs larger productions of Arrow Knights. His food count is basically starting to dwindle. He's mass spamming units, since you never know actually that these series of trades might have actually overdone it for Alligator. His score has plummeted. He's overinvested in the forts, the heavy cannons. These guys have got so much HP as well. The Coyote's quite low HP. They might pick off 1 heavy cannon, but heavy cannon volleys behind the skirms as well. Is Eagle doing this? He's up against the clock. This will be tough. Alligator is spamming units as hard as possible. The more units he can make this, the more time he can delay this push out here from Dutch. The heavy cannons will soon get packed up and move on to the 4th position to take down another set of training posts. He's got 4 heavy cannons still alive. Eagle got lots of wood, no coin available. He needs to push out to get access to the coin mine, and this is going to be a very exciting end to the game. This is actually real close. This is closer than I thought it was going to be. 3 heavy cannons, but there's still Vet Halberdiers, double carded, Guard Skirm, double carded as well. Coyote's going to try their best, but the reinforcements here from Alligator are starting to dwindle and fall off quite rapidly. He's now basically out of resources. He hasn't got that spamming production that he needs. Eaglemut, I think Eaglemut needs to basically commit to the mid-training post, let the Halberdiers do this training post, but even Eaglemut sending Vils to the middle of the map, he realizes actually it's going to depend on who can win this trade monopoly war. Whether it's going to be Eaglemut taking down this ATP to secure his prolong in the game, or will the timer run down? The Halberdiers just ripping through Coyotes. Coyotes just charging onto the heavy cannon line, and with another 45 seconds left, there might just be enough time to pack out. It's going to be close. It's going to be super close. It's going to come down to the final seconds. Alligator, how many does he have now? 5 heavy cannons. He just needs to keep moving across. Halberdiers just doing an absolute godsend. Heavy cannons just need to focus the train post, not the units. Just try. 1 heavy cannon goes down. Train monopoly victory imminent. I know it's super close. Last 30 seconds. Another 2 coming in, but unfortunately all the heavy cannons nearby have just gone down. Halberdiers putting in so much work though. More villagers coming in. Eaglemut saying, damn lol. You've got to remember, train monopoly is a possibility when you do turtle this hard. And yeah, 20 seconds remaining. Can he kill 2.6k HP worth of building in the meantime? Halberdier is working on it. We do have the skirmers pushing forward as well. Heavy cannon, it's going to be close, but I think Alligator is going to hold on to get the victory in game number 3 of this playoff series. Well played to Alligator. And oh, what an exciting way to end that game. Alligator was drained, you'd say, in the treaty sense. And yeah, you play on the map with train posts in the middle of the map, expect that to be a possibility, and the relatively slow reaction there from Eagle cost him there. Had the resources or the potential to push out for more mines, to train 2 mortars, and 2 mortars here would have enough range on the training post. He spent probably a bit too much time sieging this advanced training post with his heavy cannons and could have been charging forwards, and lets a couple of halbs on this one. And yeah, very close. You have to argue that's probably the closest game of the entire series. It came down to a couple seconds in it here and there. And enjoy that one. Let's look at the post game for here. Villager population. Alligator spamming his way up to 75, thinking he had enough eco to carry the game on to victory. But towards the end, his actual resources was starting to be significantly drained, having much more production than Eaglemut. Most of the Eaglemut's resources, were kind of being produced into heavy cannons, which you can't directly see or measure in terms of resources there and then. But yeah, the military population, it was just falling apart for Alligator. Had to spam so much just to try and delay, pick off the siege, kind of, in a sense, throw away units to achieve the greater goal of winning the game in this sense. And yeah, damn, well, fair play to both players. Unfortunately for Eaglemut, losing 3-0 to Alligator is not going to help his chances in this league. at all. And I think Eaglemut is now looking to be on the bottom side of the ladder, but it's always fun to watch Eaglemut games. But Alligator, 3-0, that's putting them back up into contention. A lot of players eyeing up those top places, and it's as the rounds will move on, it's going to get very spicy. This is a round 4 game, and round 4 means there's another 5 rounds ahead for these players. Each player has a rest round, let's say, the tournament's only kicking off. It's only going to get more and more interesting here. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this series and enjoyed this fun game, certainly leave a like. Let me know that you enjoyed it in the comments. And I'll follow the playlist as well. All the uploads will be uploaded to the same playlist, so you get to see all the casts one after the other. And I'll see you guys in the next series. Thanks for watching.